Welcome to Beyondwards Presents. My name is Whitney Kwan. I am your host, and today we are here with Penelope Smith. We're super excited because she is a pioneer in the field of interspecies communication, as well as the author of 3 fantastic books that we have here for you today. The best known being When Animals Speak. And today we are actually going to be doing a slightly different format than usual. Today there will be several members of the Beyondwards team who come on and will be sharing pictures of their pets, and Penelope will be working with them, they'll be asking Penelope questions about their pets. So excuse any small technical difficulties, but it's going to be a fun show. And just, Penelope, thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. This is great.
Yes, we're very excited. I have my own dog, so I have my own agenda. I'm just like, oh, I'm so excited to be able to communicate with him. But I just want to remind everybody in the audience who's watching, you can join the conversation by using the hashtag BWPresents, or you can use the Google app in Google Hangouts. And so the first person that we have, she's one of our fantastic sales representatives. Her name's Karen Preston, and her dog Maisie, let me put up a picture here real quick, is going to be the subject of our conversation. There's Maisie. She is a
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Karen.
Hi, Karen. It's we're having a little technical difficulty here. It blanked out for a little while there, so.
I think it's because of me. Sorry. Did you get to see Maisie's picture?
Yes, I did.
Great. Let me tell you that I've had her for about 3 years. I adopted her from the Humane Society, and she's a puppy mill dog. And she has some behavior problems as a result. She was probably 5 or 6 when I adopted her. And probably the biggest problem for me at the moment is that she's not housebroken yet. She's housebroken when I'm home, but not when I'm gone. So,
how long has she been with you?
3 years now.
3 years. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's great.
but I'm gone because I work full time. I'm not home all the time.
Yeah.
And
she's home all alone?
And she's home alone. Yes, I have a bird as well, but I'm sure that's not really companionship for her.
Yeah. And so what is your question?
So I'm wondering, I don't know very much about what you do. I'm wondering if it's possible for you to communicate with her and explain to her that I would really love for her to use the potty pads. I've got puppy pads in the bathroom for her to use, but she prefers she actually pees on the floor or even on her bed while I'm gone. And that doesn't happen all the time, but otherwise I try to put her in diapers, and I'd prefer not to do that if I could.
Sure. So let me tell everybody who is listening how this works, how animal communication, telepathic communication with animals works, so people know what it is I'm doing.
Right.
As soon as a person speaks about their animal and wants me to connect with them, it's like having the right phone number. You know, you dial in, and then you showed me the picture of Maisie, so I know what she looks like. Otherwise, I would just ask for a description of her. And Maisie has already come in, and what I mean by coming in is that she tunes into me. She knows, she gets telepathically that you are talking about her. She feels your connection, she feels my connection, and she's already interested in what's going on. She doesn't know what we're going to do, but she's interested, and so I feel a connection with her. And telepathy is, tele means distance, and pathy is feeling, so being able to feel at a distance. It isn't dependent on whether we're in the same room or whether we're 3,000 miles away. So the first thing that I get from Maisie is just anticipation. And I'm going to ask her first and get a view about what she thinks about her life and her relationship before we go into discussing your question, so I get to know her a little bit better, and she gets to communicate about what's meaningful to her. So let me just check in with her. I like my home. I like my person. We get along really well. I feel my person really understands me. I don't understand how I can control my anxiety. I feel a lot of anxiousness, she says, pretty much all the time. Even when she's happy, even when she's with you, she has a kind of a chronic anxiety. So her, I can feel in her body, her bladder, her whole digestive system also, everything is pretty revved up. It's pretty on edge. She says that she is always scared that something bad is going to happen. She feels, even though she feels very comfortable with you, but I feel this running current of anxiety. You know, if I'm acted out, I start to feel like I want to, you know, jump around and do that. So she can't really get it when you say pee on the papers, because all she feels is her anxiety. Right. When you talk to her about it, she goes, oh dear, what's going to happen? She can't connect with the pee on the papers and controlling herself, because her life has been pretty much out of control before you got her. It was very scary to her, and loud noises. She gives me lots of things happening suddenly, loud noises, people doing things that she never understood. She's a very sensitive little character. She says, I feel more peaceful now than I ever have been. I don't want to disappoint my person. And she's just continuing to communicate. And I'm translating her pictures that she's giving me and her feelings into words so we can understand them as humans. She says, but I don't want to disappoint my person, but I can't understand. And the reason she can't understand is this anxiety. Well, she can't get past the anxiety. And it isn't caused by you. It's a chronic condition for her.
I see.
So this is a way that you can help little Maisie, because she's a sweetheart. She's a loving being. The house training thing is not something you can just tell her and she's going to get it, because it can't get across the anxiety barrier. Do you understand? It just can't get past that. So this is what how I would work with Maisie, is I would work with relaxing her. And she says she loves her she loves it when she turns over and her little belly is rubbed. She's showing me her belly up, and she says that you have special times with her where and she plays and she wiggles her leg. She's showing me on the bed, and she said that she really enjoys that. But you're gonna have to do more than just the play massage. She needs actually a therapeutic massage. Oh. And this is where you get into things like Reiki or team touch, different ways of touching. Even with her, well, it's fine to play with her and play massage her because she just loves it and she feels very close to you when you do that. Just touching her firmly, putting your hand on her firmly, then touching another spot, and even saying to her, "Can you feel this, Maisie?" And she'll answer you. You know, she'll, "Yeah, I can feel it. Good." And it's really helping her to get grounded. You're sort of like the conduit to ground her to the earth. When you feel her slowly and put your hand on her body like this. Okay, then when she is more relaxed as you do this, because she will, when she starts sighing, when she starts giving like a yawn or a sigh, then you can talk to her about all the things that you love about her. And with Maisie, most of all, you want to get across to her in a positive way when that anxiety barrier is lower. She needs to know that she can actually listen to you. See, because I couldn't just tell her about what you want with her peeing either, because she can't listen till she's relaxed enough. So now we have Lila coming up. She's going to help too. I have a cat right below me called Lila, and she says, I understand the little dog, and she's tuned in too, so she's going to help too. So when Maisie is starting to relax, then tell her all the things that you love about her. Tell her all the things that she has done right since you have gotten her. This will help her greatly, because you know how it is with us too. When people tell us things that we're doing right, we listen better. And it starts to open up the heart, it starts to open up the whole body to receptivity. So you tell her all the things that she does right, and then say she peed close to the pee pad. You tell her, boy, you really liked that she peed close to the pee pad, or anything connected with that she does right. You know, after you've praised all the other things about how loving she is and what good company she is and how cute she is. I mean, all these wonderful things that you love about her. Then as you can slowly start to get into that without any anxiety, without any pressure on her. Then after you've done a number of these sessions, because it's not going to happen all in one day with Maisie. She's definitely a traumatized little girl.
She surely is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and she, you know, this doesn't happen all in one day that they suddenly relax. It's the same with all of us. So as she starts to listen, then you can just hold her in your arms, continue with your little therapy touch session, and just show her the area where you want her to be. You know, and very gradually, but watch her. If she starts to get more anxious, here's Lila. Can you see Lila?
She's adorable. Yes. Hi, Lila.
She's on my lap, so I don't want to hold her up. She's working here. So as she starts to be able to listen more, and you'll feel it in her. You can feel it in her body as it tenses, as she starts to get that anxious look. You know it already. I mean, you know her.
Yes, I do.
And then there's no point after that in talking about the peeing situation. But you can just bring her into the pee area where the pee pads are and give her a little treat. At the end of your session, just bring her there, sit down on the floor with her, give her a little treat. And don't even mention the peeing, because again, this is like asking her to do something for you can turn on a whole lot of anxiety for her.
I see.
So it's going to be step by step, and any little win that you get, any little success on this, you thank her so much. Even if she, you know, gets anywhere near the pee pads, you just thank her so much and give her a little treat. But she's a sweetheart, and I will tell you that these little guys that get traumatized so badly and also have a very sensitive nervous system, it takes a while, you know. And you've had her for 3 years, and believe me, her anxiety is down by about half, but it's still higher than most dogs, you know. And so it's really thinking of her as what will make her comfortable, what works for her, and then telling her every possible thing you can of praise and showing her how much you love her. And I frankly I'd put you know, as many pee pads as you can, and whenever she gets on them, praise her. But this is a hard situation when you get a rescue dog like this, who really can't listen. People go, well, how come you can't just tell them? You know, people say this to animal communicators. How come you just can't tell them? I says, well, you've been telling them. You know, they can hear you, but really Maisie can't really hear when she's anxious like this. But soon you do a daily therapy session with her. Do you do anything like Reiki? Any kind of healing?
Yeah,
energy?
As a matter of fact, I took Reiki 1. So,
Oh,
and
good.
I used to do home child pet care, and I used to do it with other dogs. So I'll start doing it with her. Yeah, that's great.
That's wonderful.
Thanks.
Because that will be very nice for her too. But I feel with the firm hand and moving the hand from place to place firmly, this will help connect her to the earth and ground her. You know, through your body, you feel your feet on the ground, and as you're touching her, it will ground her. So that's about all we can do for little Maisie. And there are flower remedies, too, that can help her. Bach flower remedies and other essences for anxiety. There are herbs for anxiety that can help. All these things are pieces of the puzzle, but nothing is a magic bullet for somebody who is traumatized and extremely sensitive. So step by step, and little Maisie, she'll get it. And one of these days, she's going to be so happy. She's going to really look to you and go, I did it, Mom. I went on those little pads. And she's going to be so pleased. Another thing I wanted to tell you that she showed me is she isn't, it's funny because I thought she would be lonely being alone all day. And she said to me, you know, it's really very peaceful to be in my own home. And everything is very, very peaceful. She doesn't run around anxiously. She's very, very peaceful. And, you know, for most dogs, because dogs are very social, you like them to have more company and being taken out for walks. And little Maisie just says, I'm very peaceful, and I know when my person's coming home, and she's very reliable. And so she's okay on that regard, which surprises me.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Complaint. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's wonderful. Thank you for reassuring me.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And you have her pegged. She is a very anxious dog, so thank you so much for everything you said.
Okay. You're very welcome. All the best.
Bye, Penelope.
Penelope, that was amazing. Thank you so much. My first question that comes to my mind is, when did you first discover your ability to communicate with animals, and how did you grow it?
I've always communicated with animals. I never hid the ability. People are born with the ability to telepathically communicate. All beings of all species, including humans, can receive others' feelings, thoughts, in terms of all their perceptions, in terms of all their internal senses. So they can receive visions, smells, thoughts, knowing, all these different ways that we receive. But we're socialized out of it. As humans, we're taught that words are the way to go. And then we even stop listening to what's behind the words. But all humans can listen to what's behind the words. Not what's in the dictionary, but what actually a person is feeling. And we can cultivate that telepathic sensing. So I never denied it. Even when my mother told me I had a great imagination and the kids made fun of me, I decided, okay, I'll just keep it to myself. That's fine. I totally enjoy talking to animals, communicating with them. They're my friends. We walk together on the earth. So I never let it go. So then later in my life, as I became a counselor for people, this just started coming up to help people with their animal friends. And it was really fun. And I had great results. And so it started to take over, you know, as a way to both help animals and reach people, enlighten people, really, which has always been my big thing, is help people to become more aware of who they are and what our relationship is in the whole universe and our relationship to all other beings.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Amazing. Well, it reminds me of one passage that I read. Just to mention to people, we do have all 3 of Penelope's books, When Animals Speak, Animal Talk, Animals in Spirit, as well as her DVD, Wild Animals Speak, as our bundle for today, and it's 50% off, so you get all 4 items for $33.98, so it's a great deal. And I was reading When Animals Speak this morning, and it reminds me of the moment in it when you're talking about how animals, it's not just animals, it's like all spirits find each other over and over again, the great cycle that, you know, you might have been your dog's dog companion at some point in time in, you know, the story of time, I don't know, and it was, it's a wonderful thing to think about, that you continue to be attracted to that same spirit, and that it's really spirits connecting. It's not, you know, human and dog or dog and cat. It's spirits.
This is a thing that people really miss. They categorize animals. A lot of people do this. They categorize animals as lower, as non-thinking, non-deciding, non-feeling, although, of course, that's changing. people are becoming more aware of animals as thinking, feeling beings, intelligent beings. However, there's still this feeling of separation. And we're all souls. Basically, anima, which is an animal, and we're all animals, human animals or dog animals or whatever kind of animals, means soul, spirit, breath, air, life. So we're all the same thing. And our bodies, our forms, determine how we're going to act in this universe. So we have our programming, there's dog programming, cat programming, human programming, etc. But we're souls, and we can actually relate to each other heart to heart and soul to soul. And there's no limitation. Now, there's the way we look at the world is very different because we're looking through a body that's very different with a very different experience, but we can all relate as fellow beings, and that's the beauty. That's a beauty. I mean, and people really get this. They look at their animal friends, they love them. They recognize a soul there. And the more they recognize that, and the more they honor themselves as a fellow being, the more they start to get out of the human thinking that we are separated and we can't communicate with each other. So then people go, well, I've sensed what my dog is feeling. I got that I should run out to the barn and help my horse. I once turned around and thought somebody was behind me, and it was this spider in a web, and I knew the spider was communicating with me. People get it, and they start to recover their ability. They start to remember. That's really beautiful.
Yeah,
it's really beautiful.
Then life
real fun.
Yeah, well, and it's just so simple because I talk to my dog all the time, and they'll look at me funny, and I'm like, no, I actually feel like I am having a conversation with him. Like he's responding to me and everything. I don't know, I couldn't tell you what he's saying, but it is very clearly for me a conversation, and it's exactly, I guess I'm to some extent opening myself to that.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, we have a live viewer question. It's from a woman named Monica. She says, my sweet dog Toby crossed over in January, and I miss her so much. I would like to ask if she's coming back to me in this lifetime, and if so, how do I know when, and how do I know it's her? She's read your books and understands that animals can give very different answers according to this question, sometimes even very detailed in where to find them and how they will look.
Okay, so this is what I would like to communicate both to Monica and all the other listeners. People get very anxious about their animal friends going on and also coming back again. We are connected. We are connected, heart to heart, soul to soul. We never lose that connection. The only way people can lose that connection is by thinking they have lost the connection. So people get in their own minds and they disconnect. So if you get into anxiety about it all, you won't get the clear communication. You need to kick back, as I explained in Animals in Spirit. I'll give you a meditation where you kick back and you relax and you realize you are connected with your animal friend. They don't leave you. I mean, they go to the other realm. Obviously, their body goes back to the earth and they go to the spiritual realm, but you can connect with them. And when you do, that is your best communication. Okay, Lila. Lila's coming over. She's going to help again. That is your best opportunity for clear communication. Now, a lot of people, when they're new to communication, they say, well, I can't do it. I can't connect. But you see, that's the barrier, saying I can't. You actually can. And what an animal communicator will do will help you to connect. So I'm not going to give a pat answer on this one. I'm going to say your animal friend is your teacher. They are waiting there. He or she is waiting there for you to open to them. You may have already had signs. You may have, sometimes people see them out of the corner of their eyes after they have gone. You know, they go, oh, I just felt like my cat was there. Yes, they're connecting with you. Or when you're relaxed, when you're about to take a nap, or you're about to, or you're sleeping at night, you may get a dream. Dreaming is a good way to connect because your thinking mind is down. It's no longer busy, 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 and you getting lost in your anxiety. You can then listen to your animal friends. So they may give you a message. I would say you can't force returning. You see, people get into this force kind of thing. Like, I gotta have them back. They come back if it is their mission, if it is their life. They're on a spiritual journey just like you are, from life to life. And they all have different ways to grow. We all have different ways to grow. If it is optimum for their growth and your growth, they come back to you. If it is not, I'll give you an example that is not in my books that just happened pretty recently. I had a cat named Chico-san. She is in my book. She was a wonderful Angora Calico, and she lived till she was about 19. She helped many, many. She was incredible. Well, Sherman lived till he was 22, so, you know, the cats are healthy and live long. But anyway, Chico-san really helped so many people in her lifetime. All my advanced students, she helped people all the time. She loved people. And when she left very peacefully. And she kind of ascended. She went into, I never thought that she would be back again, because she just went into a space where she was complete. She helped me, she helped everybody, people all over the world. And then a couple of years ago, actually it's 3 years ago now, because Ziggy is 3 years old, I'm working on the computer, and suddenly she comes in and she says, "I'm coming back." I said, "What?" I was really surprised because it had been many years, and I figured, you know, Chico wasn't going to be coming back. And she gave me exact details. She says, by the end of April, and this was 3 years ago, there will be a black cat, and she was a white, soft, fluffy Angora Calico before, and female. It will be a black male, and my name will be Ziggy. You know, you will call me Ziggy, you know, very different than her. And she said, "I'm only coming back for you. I've completed all the work that I was to do with other people. I'm only coming back at this time of your life to help you to have happiness." And it was very touching to me, of course. So she said, you'll have me by the end of April. And so time went by. There were no ads on. She said, go to Craigslist. I said, there were no ads. You know, I even checked the local rescues. There were no, even though black cats are very numerous, there was no, she said she would come at a 6-week-old kitten and blah, blah, blah. She gave me the exact details. Wow. On April 30th, she said, go to the computer. I'm on there now. I went there and called the people, and, you know, there she was. And all the other kittens had been taken. Again, black cats are very common. A lot of people have this thing. And I was going, I was so delighted. And there was Chico. Of course, she was Ziggy now. But it completely surprised me. And I would say for Monica and for everybody else is don't put your own agenda on it. They come back when they come back. If it is their journey to come back. I mean, complete surprise to me. Ziggy ignores everybody else but me. He'll be nice to people, you know, be nice to the house sitter, but, you know, he just goes, you know, I don't want anything to do with these retreats. I don't want anything to do with other people. I did all that. I'm just here for you. And so it's this incredible gift. Okay, I was not expecting that at all. And with my other animal friends, I didn't pump them as soon as they died and go, okay, are you coming back? Are you coming back? You know, they just let me know, because I stayed connected, what their journey was. You know, Belinda has already told me, Belinda is my little dog, she's asleep behind me now, and she has already told me, she said, I will definitely be back, you know, to be with you. You know, we've got a mission together, you know, and we'll see at the time, because things change, you know, we'll see what happens, and I, again, have no agenda on it. Whatever is right for her, whatever is right for me, my spiritual growth, her spiritual growth, what's best for the universe, for everybody else, will happen. So we miss them. Okay.
Yes.
There are so many beautiful beings who we can connect with. Your animal friend may be saying to you, I've got a friend lined up for you who is meant to be with you now. And oftentimes, animals will send someone else, a good friend who is part of your soul group, your soul family. And somebody you will fall in love with, and you'll be very surprised because you go, oh, I will only fall in love with this particular being. Believe me, there are many beings in this world to love that are very, very beautiful and that you can fall in love with. These billions of animals to fall in love with. But anyway, I understand, people's anxiety, but the anxiety and the agenda gets in the way. Let life happen. And stay connected. Talk to them. Let yourself get relaxed. Let them, in their wisdom, in their beauty, in their truth, their spirits, they're free. They no longer have the physical struggle. They can help you. Talk to them, and any questions you have, you can do it. Now, if you need an animal communicator, I have a wonderful directory on my website, and you can get help from an animal communicator. But I always teach people to validate yourselves. Open up your own ability. Empower yourself. Learn yourself, because you are the best person to get connected with that animal friend that you love. Who else is better?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to give you, Monica. No easy answers on this. And you don't have to be anxious about, oh, am I going to the right place? Will I miss them? You really can't miss them unless you decide that it's not right for you. You really can't miss them. If it's meant to be, it happens. People come into your life. I've had beings suddenly come into my life and go, I'm meant to be with you. And we have this incredible connection, and away we go. If you're meant to be, you'll come back together. The more you try to interfere with it, the more you put other things. Well, he should be gold, or he should be a Bichon, or he should be this, or he should be that. Stay in touch with your animal friend and see how it all works out. What is best for everybody? And then the universe will surprise you. Then it's fun. It's like your birthday, their birthday and your birthday, and
awesome.
You'll be surprised. But I just caution people not to invalidate yourselves. Your connection is so beautiful. Your connection is so precious and full of soul. Don't invalidate it. Open it. And if you need some help in opening it, call an animal communicator, but don't rely on them alone. Remember, their job is to help you to remember. And so do your best. Do your best for your animal friend and your beautiful connection to honor that. And it'll all fall into place. What's meant to be, it'll happen. You'll be directed to the right place. Suddenly, you'll have this inclination to go to the rescue or go to the website
or
whatever it is. My animal friends have come to me in very different ways, but I always listen to spiritual guidance. Listen to your guidance. Cultivate your guidance. Sit in the center of your being. Connect with Mother Earth. Ask Mother Earth to help you. Ask your animal friend to help you to be able to listen, to be able to connect. And that will happen.
Got it.
Ask and you will receive. It works.
Yeah. Well, we do have another Beyond Words member, Lindsay Brown. I'm thrilled that you said what you just said, because Lindsay has lost one of her cats last June, and they still do have one of her other cat. Her cat's name, I will grab the picture. Her cat's name is Wrigley. He's just absolutely adorable. There he is.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Isn't he beautiful?
So this is the cat
wonderful.
This is the cat currently?
Yes. There's Lindsay.
Hi. Hi, Penelope. Yes, Rigatoni. So a little story, I guess. So Monty was the cat that passed away in June. He had colon cancer, and we had to put him down, and he was only 10 years old. So when that happened, we actually put him down in our house so that Rigatoni could be there. We wanted to make sure that at least there was some understanding of why his companion was leaving. And they were 5 years apart, and Monty was a people cat. We got him when we got married, and he was our cat. And when we worked so much, 5 years later, we decided he needed a companion. So technically, we adopted Rigatoni to be Monty's companion. So with Monty's death, Rigatoni has become kind of a different cat. He is very vocal, incredibly vocal. It's actually very annoying. He meows all the time, and he never used to meow. And so we've talked about whether we should get another cat, and we're pretty heartbroken still. I mean, Monty was very special to us, and so we really don't want to get another cat at this time. But I do worry that maybe he's so vocal is because he's missing his companion, or he's lonely.
Yeah, hold on, because Riggy is coming in real strong. And he says that Monty has gone very far away and he has to yell to get in touch with him. He's like, it's so interesting, his picture is like opening up a portal. His voice opens up a portal to reach him. Now he has the idea that if he yells loud enough, that Monty will come back down the stream of light that opens up. But he actually sees him. This is how you can help him. They're in touch, but there definitely is grief connected with it. Rigatoni is feeling grief, and he definitely is feeling like, I want my Monty back. Okay, this is how you can help. He wants you to be able to see him too. See, when he's yelling like that, and he's showing me looking up, he's looking up, and he's yelling, and he's going, can you see him? He keeps saying to you, can you see him? Can you see him? And I see this image of Monty all in light, kind of like an angel. It's more like light, and then every now and then through the light I see a cat face. And I feel if you share, if you sit on the floor with him when he's yowling, and you can even do some yowling yourself because it's appropriate. You know, it's part of getting the emotion out. He's very good. Ricky is just showing you, okay, I'm gonna yell, and I'm gonna bring my cat friend back again. So if you sit there with him, it'll be like your own ritual together, and yowl and really feel Monty, because Monty's right there. I mean, it's not that you have to yell to Monty, but this is how Riggy is expressing it. This is how he feels. So he's good. You know how they have in different cultures where they howl a lot, and they moan and they sing really loudly, laments, on and on. People join in groups. We don't do that in our culture. Well, Riggy does. Riggy, all of a sudden, he's doing his lament, and so I would join in with him, and you're going to see a different cat. Okay. He's going to be so happy. Plus, know that you're connecting with Monty when you're doing that. Feel Monty. And Monty's right here now. I mean, I can feel him. He's right there. You know, and I do feel him looking up and seeing him opening a portal. So they are still connected. So that's funny. How you and any other members of your family can help.
Okay. So he's not asking for a companion?
He's asking for Monty. He's asking. You know, later it may be appropriate after you're through more of the grief. Right now, both you and he are in the middle of it. He's expressing it more than you are. So now you two are going to have great lamenting sessions together, and you're going to be very relieved. He's going to be relieved. You'll end up laughing together. Then he'll let you know what he wants, and Monty will too. See, the thing is, then you get in touch, and Monty will let you know, hey, you guys, I love you. I'm always connected with you. Get another cat. You know, I mean, he may have this advice for you. That's what I'm feeling. But, you know, at this time, it's too important for these feelings to be acknowledged. And then you'll be ready. Then you'll be ready. And Monty will be like your guardian angel. He is. He's like a guardian angel. And it's not bad. You know, it's not a bad thing that we have these emotions. We just do. Riggy has them, you have them, we all have them. You know, animals are emotional beings also. And they feel the loss of their friends. But when we can feel it together, it eases it. You know, when another being can fully understand, and see, Riggy will then feel, oh, you really have it. I've done this with animals too. When they yowl, I yowl. and we yowl together, and everybody feels really good afterwards. We humans need to do that more.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Nice to see you, Penelope.
Okay, thanks, Riggy.
Thank you so much. That is, it's fascinating to hear how the animals themselves connect, because I feel like
Yes.
in my life, we were always of the mentality that, you know, we would have one dog, and then when that dog got older, we would get a younger dog to kind of be his or her companion, and have just kind of gone along that way, and really haven't addressed what it's like for one of the dogs to lose its companion when the older dog does pass. So it's I love the fact that they're still connected, because that is it's so beautiful, and it speaks to everything we've been talking about.
Yeah, and they have different feelings about it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, different ones will take it very matter-of-factly, and others, really, they have to get their grief out. Sometimes animals need a whole ceremony. And this is like a ceremony, but it reminded me of, again, other cultures, like Middle Eastern cultures, where they lament. And they lament out loud, and everybody joins in, and it's a huge relief to everybody. That's like, each one is unique. That's the other thing I'd like to say is each situation is unique. You can't say, okay, the next cat is going to be just like this. No, they're going to have their own unique take on things, just like each of us do. We all come from different backgrounds, and we have a different spiritual journey. So I just listen. You know, like this surprised me, even though I've talked to thousands and thousands and thousands of animals. Each one is like new and fresh, and they're beautiful. You know, they're beautiful, and you know, each one needs their own listening to.
Just like each individual person. I mean, it's becoming so clear to me. It's like, just like you don't listen to every single person exactly the same, because they're all different people. It's like you don't listen to all the animals in exactly the same way, because they're different souls as well. Yeah. And I just want to take a quick opportunity to remind everybody who's watching that they can join the conversation if they use the hashtag BWPresents, and they can also use the Q&A app and the Google Hangouts. And also, we do have for everyone today available Penelope's 3 books plus her DVD. And for a great deal, it's 50% off for the 3 books and the DVD. It's $33.98. So run to, it's www.beyondword.com/Smith, SMITH, just like it sounds. So go ahead and grab that as soon as possible. And then I just want to introduce you to our next Beyond Words person. I'm very excited about this, because we've been hearing about her puppy, Wrigley, for a very long time. And let me grab the picture of him really quick. He's adorable. He's very young. He's a little bit feisty right now. There he is. And he's a very sweet dog. And Jackie, our publicist, she's been telling us every morning what Wrigley has done the night before. So now Jackie has some questions for you.
Hello.
Hi, Jackie. So how old is Wrigley now?
He is 7 months, and we've had him since he was about 10 weeks.
Oh,
and
good.
he has become our entire lives. We love him dearly. But one thing that we keep struggling with is that he kind of climbs on everything. He'll be constantly jumping on the kitchen counter. On our dining room table, he sits just on the chair and just hangs out. He climbs on top of the kitchen counter and table and tries to get things, climbs on our coffee table, and we play with him so much that I can't imagine him thinking he needs more attention, but I don't know what he's looking for or what he needs or what he's not getting, because he's clearly looking for it on all of these surfaces that we don't want him on.
Yeah. Okay, and he is a bright soul, that's real obvious. He comes in loud and clear. Wrigley is so full of life, and he wants to be up near your face. And all his whole orientation is, I'm going to get up with the people. I'm going to get up with the people. Right now, because he's a puppy, he has this huge exuberance. Now, with Wrigley, he also has a very strong idea of how he should be. And it is not as strong as your ideas of what you need from him as a dog. So he just does this, and he smiles, and everything's fine for him, and you tell him to get down, but he doesn't get it because he doesn't really think you mean it.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is where training, and I don't mean training like drag your dog around and be dominant. I mean being clear and firm with him. This is a scene with Wrigley. First of all, he's really, really intelligent. So you're not going to get away with just treating him like, okay, you got to do everything we say, which you're not doing anyway, obviously, because he's doing everything he wants and not what you say. But this is what I would do with Wrigley. I'd sit on the floor with Wrigley after he's had a playtime, and when he's more calm, and just say, Wrigley, I really appreciate so many things about you. And this is what I need from you. This is what your role is in our household, because it doesn't work for us to have you on the counter. It messes up our food, it messes up our books, it messes my computer up. It really doesn't work. I've got the human body, you know, with the 2 legs that sits in a chair. You've got the 4 legs that runs around. And so there's certain things that work. And this is what I need from you. Now, he's real fast and he's real smart. He's a puppy. Mm-hmm. Puppies, like every other young animal, are speedy. And so they don't listen for real long, but when he's tired, he's going to listen to you. You need to give him, what is your program? Okay, so what is your whole program? How do you want Wrigley to be in your life? You laugh a lot with him. He's a lot of fun. You love exercising with him. Good. But he has to have some manners. So you show him. It's not that hard with somebody this smart. You say sit, you give him a treat, and he does it. He pays attention. You say, good, Wrigley, now this is what I need from you. I need you to sit and I need you to stay on the floor. If he jumps up, you say, you know, people use common terms in training are off, you know, so he's off whatever he was up on, and then you ask him to sit again. Give him a treat. You know, it's reinforcement. It's typical positive reinforcement training. You have to do it because he's going by your cues as how you live as a human. So he's looking at you, okay, people are face to face. I want to be face to face. Okay, well, he can't be. He's got to, I mean, Wrigley, I'm talking to him. Wrigley, even though you've been human before, which he obviously has, even though you've been human before, you don't have a human body now. You know, I'm letting him know. He does not have a human body now, so he's got to play by different rules. I mean, I'll tell you a little funny story. In this Pasha, one of my former Afghans, he used to say to me, you get to go to the refrigerator anytime you want and take food out, and you only feed me at meal times. And I said to him, when you have 2 legs and, you know, and are human, you'll get to do that too. But right now, these are the rules. You don't get to snatch things from the refrigerator, and you get your standard meal times. That's it. So, you know, he got it. They all can get it, but not if you're not clear. See, if your mind is like a little scattered and you're going, oh dear, Wrigley's on the counter again. Oh. You know, all it is he ignores you. He just goes, oh, well, she's not clear, but I'm real clear that I want to be on the counter. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to do it again because my person doesn't have any clarity. You need to have clarity. Okay, Wrigley, these are the manners that you need to have for us to live a good life together and for people to like you. So you got to do the sit, stay, lie down, and Wrigley will learn all these things real fast. I'd recommend you go to a good puppy class. Mm-hmm. Humane societies now have really good classes where they use positive reinforcement and he gets socialized with other dogs. And Wrigley's smart. You know, he's easy. Smart means you have to be smarter. It's not always easy for humans to be smarter than a smart dog.
I'm learning that.
And it's clear. It's not that you're not smart. I'm not saying you're not smart. It's just that you're not as clear on what you want as he is. So you have to be clear. And then you reinforce it each day. You say, Wrigley, At the end of the day, when he's relaxed after you've run him for 600 miles, okay, he's relaxed on your bed or wherever he sleeps, you sit down and you say, Wrigley, you did this really good today. You sat when I asked you to. You only went on the counter 10 times instead of 24 times. That was a big improvement. Tomorrow, I'd like it to be less. And I want you to picture yourself, this is what a little gentleman dog does. Because you got the 4 legs now, and this is what you do. And I'm really proud of you for doing that. And this really works for us. And we can be as crazy as we want when we're out on the beach or when we're, you know, running around. And then we have to do these manners. And you have to be consistent. Every day you be consistent. He's sharp, you know. He's just energetic. Energetic dogs who are smart, they bowl people over. So you have to institute a little discipline. Discipline for you and your mind. And consistency, and that's it. You know, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I love him. He's a sweetheart, but a handful. You know, he's a handful.
He is a handful.
But a good handful. You know, the smart ones are always handfuls.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Was there anything else you had a question about?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I answered it. Okay.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great. Thank you so much, Penelope, because as you saw in the picture of him, he's just absolutely adorable and just love. He's just such a love. She's brought him in a couple of times, and he sits by her, and we hang out with him, and he's so sweet. And she tells us the stories, and he's kind of crazy right now, but it's that puppy energy too. And we actually.
It needs some discipline, that's all. You know, and discipline isn't a bad thing. People think, no, it's just telling him what the rules are and reinforcing it with positive reinforcement. You know, you have your little bag of treats. You say, sit, good boy, and that's it. And pretty soon you won't need those anymore. You know, he got it. He goes, okay, this is what works. This is what they like. You know, but, you know, sometimes people have to shift their thinking first. They have to get clearer in their own minds. And once you're clear in their own minds, the dog gets it. They go, okay, she means it. She's clear. She's not confused. You know?
Got it.
And then they follow you.
Perfect. Well, we have another live viewer question.
Okay.
How do you differentiate between real communication we've received and our own mental creations?
This is a wonderful question, and the most common and most important question that you can possibly ask about telepathic communication. First of all, when you are, you know, the techniques for learning how to telepathically communicate is first you have to connect with your own body, be present to your own body, your own animal body, let your mind calm down a little bit. And just like when you're listening to me or I'm listening to you, if I'm thinking in my head, let's go just with humans, if I'm thinking about what I'm going to say next, then I'm not really listening to you. Then I'm in my own mind and I'm thinking about what I'm going to say. But if I'm really listening, now what did Whitney just say? What question did she ask me? Okay, I listened, I took it in, then because I received you, I can then answer you. So it's the same with the animals. When you are being present, quiet, open, and again, there's the books, I've got audio courses, and there's many people who teach the basics in animal communication, but really it's getting present and opening to another being, getting calm enough. Then you can start to differentiate between your own thoughts and another's. So when I'm listening to you, I get it's your thought that's coming across to me because I'm not all wound up in my own thinking. So I was just talking to a dog. Okay, I got his feelings in his body. They were very different than the feelings in my own body. I have no urge to jump up on counters and be close to people's faces. You know, these feelings, because I was listening and I was open, they come to me and they're different. They're different than my own thinking. It takes practice. Now, the real litmus test, how do you know that you really got a communication? things get better. Okay, when you don't listen to an animal, when you're just projecting onto them. So if you project onto your dog, oh, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. Nothing changes. In fact, the problem usually gets worse. You're having a problem with him, let's say, barking and rushing at people. Okay, you say it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. That's your own thinking. You never listen to the dog, nothing changes. Okay, you start listening to the dog, and it's a whole different viewpoint. You start listening, and you get his viewpoint, and he goes, oh, I feel you're anxious when people come to the door, so I have to keep them away. Okay. And then you get it, and you can feel the dog is looking back at you. He's getting your feelings, and is responding to your feelings, and thinking that that's what you want, is protection. Okay, then you start to get it, and you go, yes, I do feel anxious every time the doorbell rings or somebody knocks at the door. Wow, my dog is picking that up. So that's when you have to be clear, where you both get calm, you both take a breath, and you say, okay, this is what I'd like you to do. One bark to let me know. And I really appreciate that. Then sit by my side. And then you have your dog sit, you give him a treat, and you show him what you want from him, instead of it being haphazard. And you reinforce that. Okay, so it changes. The dog gets relieved. You get relieved. Things improve. Okay, people who project, they say all kinds of things. I've had people, especially beginners, you know, they'll go, oh, your dog wants this, and, you know, you should do that. Okay, it's nothing to do with the dog. So nothing changes. The person is still confused. The animal is still confused. Animals get very relieved when you understand them. Can you get their viewpoint? Most of the time, they're communicating with you and you're not getting it. For most people, you're not getting it, or you're getting part of it, or they love you anyway, even though you don't get it. When you get it, they are overjoyed. They are relieved. They stop doing the behavior. I mean, I can give you a gazillion examples of this, where everything changes. The animal changes. The person's life changes. Things. That's because you've gotten the real thing. That's how you know. Because things improve. It's positive. It's really a positive thing. So that's your litmus test. Now, when you're a beginner, generally you get things in bits and snatches. You get a little bit. You need help sometimes with somebody validating you. That's why you have teachers, etc. But pretty soon you start to see the response. So people go and they go, okay, I'm sending a communication to the horse that I really would like it if he would come over. And, you know, they're pretty willing to oblige if you want to learn from them. You know, animals are really good about that. If you come in humility, instead of like, I know everything and I'm going to make that horse do something. If you come instead like, I really like to communicate with you. Could you come over now so I know that you understand me? And sure enough, the horse turns around and comes over. And you thank him. And you know, he got your communication, and then he shows you, and he, you know, you get his feeling of that he appreciates somebody understanding him and wanting him to be a teacher. So that's how you know. And you know it's false when it makes you feel pretty confused or yicky. People resonate. Even people who think they don't know telepathic communication. When you get an animal communicator and they're communicating, people go, yes, yes, I thought he was. That makes sense to me. Or, wow, I didn't know he thought so profoundly. But it resonates with the people. They go, wow, it's not weird, it's not strange. And they start going, I understand. I got a bit of that. So that's how you know. And it takes practice to get good at it. And it takes each time you communicate, being present, being really there, opening and listening, not being lost in your own agenda, in your own mind, or I have to have this happen, or they have to communicate this, or I'm afraid they're going to communicate this. You know, all of that has to be put aside. So that's a learning. It's a practice. This is a way of being. You know, we live in a very revved up society where people are rushing from one thing to the next. They're texting, they're looking at pictures, they're doing something else, they're yelling at their dog. You know, all this is happening all at the same time. This requires opposite behavior. Getting quiet, taking a deep breath. It's a meditation. Getting in touch with your body, getting in touch with Mother Earth. The animals long ago told me, connect with us through your feet on the ground, through feeling Mother Earth. And the animals are connected to the earth. You feel yourself connected, and you connect with your animal friends. And away it goes. So at first, it's not, you're not certain, you're in doubt. That's typical of beginners, and then it starts to get better. You see animals respond. You see that you got it right. Now, I'll tell you a really funny, cute little story, and we've only got a minute. One lady wanted to be sure that her little budgies, her parakeets, as some people call them, budgerigars, her birds understood her. She said, so if I'm understanding you, would you blink your eyes? So, I mean, this is very unnatural for little budgies to blink their eyes at a person. But she would say, well, she'd ask them a question, and then she'd say, well, I'm getting that you want this or that, or that you're thinking this or that. And they would be blinking at her. She had all these little birds blinking at her. It was so cute because she needed the validation. Okay, after a while, they stopped it. They said, you know, we're not going to do the blinking anymore. You're getting it. So let's just be natural. But animals are very obliging. You know, they will help you to learn.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like respect them just as they respect you, and it becomes that very mutual, loving relationship that it almost sounds just like any normal human relationship to me.
Exactly. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
And people have this already. They have loving relationships with their animal friends. Now they got to drop all their ideas about how they can't communicate, and then open to this. And sure enough, they'll start to listen to the animals. They'll start to get their feelings, their thoughts, their perceptions of the world, and it will be a wonderful thing when people do that. More and more.
I know we are at the 1 hour mark, Penelope, but we do have some more live viewer questions if you'd be willing to stay on and answer them. Would you be willing to?
How many questions do we have?
Right now, I just have one, but it's the.
Okay, good.
Yeah, what is our responsibility to feral cats when they have communicated that they don't want to go to a shelter?
Yeah. Well, any situation is an individual situation. First, with feral cats, there are some ferals that definitely do not want to be any part of people at all. And they will tell you, leave me alone, and fine if you want to feed me, but I don't want anything to do with you. And there are others, when they find out that it could be a good life for them, when you explain to them, well, I know it's going to be a little hard because your parents taught you too that, you know, you got to stay away from humans. But if you come with me, we will find a home for you, and you can both learn how to be with other cats. I mean, you can be with other cats and also be with other people, or whatever the situation is. And so you'll see some cats will shift, and they'll go, wait a minute, that sounds like a good life. Everyone is individual. And so sometimes it takes a little bit like the spay and neuter, you know, the trap, neuter, return. Very good program. And so I have often explained to feral cats, you know, through people who are doing these programs, okay, this is what they're going to do. You have to go in the cage, you know, so you have to go in there. They're going to help you so you don't get litter after litter. So you don't have to babies after babies and die, you know, usually a young life from stress and malnutrition. And you will be able to then go your way and still be out there with your colony of cats, etc. And lo and behold, the cat walks into the trap, and they never walked into it before. So each one is going to be individual. It's hard to say when a person said, oh, they have communicated. Who has communicated? You know, you communicate to each one individually. Cats will be, or any animals, will all be scared of things that we think might hurt us. So oftentimes just sitting with them quietly and explaining what is going to happen, they'll be quite cooperative. And, you know, but I would say you always have to listen to beings, whether they're wild animals or domesticated animals, or you won't, you know, they have their purpose in life. They have their journey. You can't just override it. But sometimes people learn to live a whole different life. People meaning any species. They can learn to live a whole different life, and they'll be, they'll be tentative about it, and you can introduce them, and lo and behold, they end up liking it. What they thought they would never like before. So, what can I say? It's a lot of experiences with the ferals, and each one will be unique.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we actually, my producer just let me know that we have around 9 more questions. So people are very, very curious. Another one of them, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say maybe we ought to do this again.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Well, considering that we are over, one of the things that I would love to do, Penelope, is if we could email the questions that still remain to you, and then maybe you could type up an answer to them, and then we can post them on our blog, on our website. Would that work for you?
Well, I can check them out. We'll see what the questions are like, and see.
Okay,
Sometimes a lot of people ask me questions by email and by Facebook. And and I'll refer them to various things in my books, and that will help them even more, because it'll be more detailed. But sure, we'll take a look at those things. Sure.
Okay, and I just want to say thank you to absolutely everyone who has submitted questions. I am so sorry that we're not getting to all of them. This has been an amazing hour, and I just want to remind everyone who's out there watching and submitting questions that we do have Penelope's 3 books. Again, the wonderful When Animals Speak, Animals Talk, and Animals in Spirit, as well as her DVD, Wild Animals Speak, all together available for 50% off. It's $33.98, and you can go to www.beyondword.com/Smith to grab that bundle right away, because it's a wonderful deal, and I just know that you could go in there and learn so much. So thank you. Penelope, I just want to say thank you so much for being on the show today, and we will get those questions to you so that people can get those answered. And I wanted to just say thank you so much for talking with my coworkers and sharing with them, and sharing with their animals too, because I could just tell by watching them that it made a really big difference for them.
That's great, and thank you. It's been really fun, and for all you animal lovers out there, thanks. Thanks for being there and loving animals and opening up to your own ability to telepathically communicate.
Wonderful. Well, and same time, same place next week, we will have our acquisitions editor on, and we're going to be talking about the incredible books that we have coming out in the summer of 2014. We have a really interesting and different collection of titles. So we look forward to seeing you then next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you so much, and have a great day.